Progress. Driving progress every day makes us proud to be AXA. Through our new digital health platform, we are empowering our customers. And by doing so, we become their partner. The DHP has been live in Germany and Italy for some time now. Let's see what our customers in Germany think of it. And what about in Italy? It feels good to help one customer at a time. That is what I call progress.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to moderate this panel today. I am Karima Sylvain, Global Head of HR for AXA. You are now used to and very familiar to our AXA Live Innovation Talks, and it's a pleasure for me to moderate that panel, which is dedicated to making healthcare more accessible through innovation. I will remind everyone that you can watch our series of Innovation Talks and the previous series on YouTube. And I would also encourage you to ask questions. We are live on Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Today's topic is dedicated on health, and more precisely, as I've just said, on making healthcare more accessible through innovation. And I do believe that during this crisis, every one of us has experienced how health is extremely important, and also how innovation is a game changer for health. And this is one of the core axes of our AXA strategy, driving progress toward 2023. With me today, I have three great experts on health. I will start by introducing them. We're starting with you, Christian Pasquale. You are the CEO and co-founder of Medictor. We'll know more about Medictor in a few seconds. You are, I have been reading that, a serial entrepreneur and angel investor in more than 20 startups. You are also the president of the Barcelona Health Hub, a non-profit private organization created to promote innovation in digital health. And now I will turn on to our second panelist, Elena Bonfiglioli. You are the Microsoft regional business leader for health and life science for the EMEA region. In the short video that we all looked at, we were talking about the digital health platform, and all of us and many of you know that are watching us that AXA has signed a partnership with Microsoft to build a digital health platform. So very happy, Elena, that you could be with us today. You are responsible for driving strategy and business development for public health and pharmaceuticals. And lastly, my friend, Jeff Vanin. All the AXAers know you very well. You are the CEO of AXA Partners and AXANet. You are our Chief Innovation Officer, and so you are leading the AXA ecosystem dedicated to accelerating innovation throughout the AXA Group. This includes AXA Partners, and for those of the people watching us not knowing what AXA Partners is doing, AXA Partners is the AXA business unit, which is dedicated to implement, I would say, innovative solutions across many products, such as assistance services, travel, and credit protection. And Jeff, one last thing about you. Previously, you were the CEO of AXA Belgium, and within AXA Belgium, you have been one of the very first to launch a revisit of I would say, the customer journeys, which has inspired many of our AXA entities. Without further ado, I will start the conversation with maybe one first question to warm up, I would say, which is addressed to the three of you. In your eyes, what is one key aspect that allows for a successful user experience when it comes to digital health? Short answers, please. I will start with you, Christian.
Thank you, Karima, for your kind introduction. And going to the question, I think that in technology, what I like most is to do something that it's easy to use for the user. And this is our obsession in Medictor. And maybe this is the reason why we have invested a lot of time and efforts to develop a natural language processing engine that you can start a conversation like you were talking to a human being.
Thank you, Christian. So easy to use. Elena, what about you?
Thank you very much, Karima. The question of what is that successful user experience element is a golden question. And for me, it is about trusted personalization in digital health, making sure that the user experience is tailored to my need. If I'm a patient or if I'm a clinician, to my condition, is curated for my journey, but is also tailored to the way in which I want to use technology, meaning I want to use it with voice, I want to use it with chat, or hybrid shifting in between digital and in person. And that personalization needs to be trusted in the sense that privacy is a human right in the digital space. So we need to make sure that we really enhance privacy protecting technologies such as differential privacy or synthetic data or homographic encryption. Personalized, but with trust.
Thank you, Elena. Very clear. Personalized with trust. Jeff, what about you?
So for me, it's all about accessibility and affordability of healthcare. As we see nowadays in society at large, it's becoming more and more difficult to be able to get into contact with a healthcare professional. And we're seeing some very exciting examples, both, let's say, fully digital, both part digital, part human interfaces, where patients or clients can talk to a healthcare professional by phone, by video conference, and this way, Karima have easy access to somebody who can be the start of their healthcare journey.
Actually, Jeff, this gives, I think, to me, the opportunity to ask my second question, which is, as you've just commented on this accessibility topic, but more broadly, because on the health innovation ecosystem that is in place at AXA, I would be very curious if you can share with all of us and all of the people who are listening to us today on how it has led to successful, I would say, initiatives in the digital health space.
Well, yes, so what we are doing at AXA Partners and AXA Next is, of course, to provide healthcare services in an easy manner. And we are helping the opcos, the big opcos in Germany, in the UK, in France, to construct those journeys. And so in order to be able to successfully do that, you need basically two things. You need to be able to offer, of course, the healthcare services, but you also need the orchestration behind it. The orchestration meaning, as Elena has said, so you need to be able to make it secure. You need to be able to tie all the different services together. And so to be very specific, for example, in the UK, we have remote consultation with a healthcare professional who can be the start of your healthcare journey. In Italy, we do drug delivery to your home. So we send the drugs to your home. And in France, clients of AXA can call Hospiway to find, let's say, the best hospital for certain surgeries which they need to undergo. So these are just three very different examples, all in the healthcare space, but which can really provide value to our clients in Europe. So you need to be able to provide the services and you need to be able to orchestrate them.
Thank you, Jeff. And I think what we see through your examples are really how technology and digital tools are enabling accessibility, orchestration, as you've just mentioned. And I'd like now to turn to you, Elena, because of course, Microsoft is a prominent player, I would say, in the technology space. And maybe with a very, very a simple and maybe naive question around digital tools and tech solutions. How do you see the role they play in making the user journey more efficient to a certain extent?
Thank you. It's a good question. When we talk efficiency, as Jeff has mentioned, we talk almost what is invisible, which is the orchestration behind the delivery of the digital solution. So when we talk efficiency, the keyword is really interoperability. Interoperability of data and solutions. Interoperability in tech language really refers to the ability of diverse computer systems to exchange and make use of the information and therefore provide a service. So efficiency requires that digital agility where the health information can be seamlessly accessed, exchanged between disparate systems. So for example, this has been put at the core of the vision that AXA has really, together with Microsoft, brought forward with the digital healthcare platform. Without the ability to constantly exchange information across systems, you cannot deliver the service across the patient journey. And therefore, we would not only lose efficiency, but also lose that user experience that we discussed before. In practical means, what this really, really enables for a patient is that I can navigate seamlessly across digital services into a workflow, but also when I log back in, I don't have to start again and provide the same things, right? Data are retained, data are accessible against specific standards. So interoperability and standards give the agility and the efficiency. And that's the way in which we need to enable digital healthcare solutions. And that is what is, I would say, at the DNA at the core of the digital healthcare platform that are live in Germany and in Italy.
Thanks a lot, Elena. And I think we could see via the video, I would say, some of the testimonies on how it works in those respective countries. And it's very fascinating to listen to you and to see what are the key elements to make it work, I would say, behind the user experience that we'll be offering. Maybe because, when I'm presenting you, Christian, I mentioned Medictor, but we didn't say that much about it. But of course, technology is also behind it. And I'm curious to hear more from you about, what point in the user's health journey does Medictor intervene?
Yeah, no, thank you. We solve a very specific problem in healthcare, which is the first step. When first symptoms arise, 7 out of 10 users tend to look online what to do next. And this, most of the times, end up wrong. We all think that we are dying every time that we have a banal headache and we look online. So we try to solve this problem in a scalable and reliable way. So we build up our engine, which is a tool to help users in a natural way to guide them to the right level of care. We are not substituting doctors. We are just pointing users having symptoms to the right level of care. And this is, I think, very interesting and linking to the interoperability, that the power of our tool is fully deployed when it's linked in a health platform that has the services that need to be served next. So this is our very specific obsession, and it's quite a broad problem because there are lots of disease and we cover thousands of possible symptoms, but this is what we are devoted and try to do in the best way.
Yes, and we'll come back to it, Christian, because I think many of the people who are listening to us have many questions around this specific area and also around AI, which is, of course, talking about technology behind all that. But I will come to it a bit later. But I'd like now to turn back again to Elena, because we were talking about efficiency, but I'd like to come to accessibility, which is one of the first words that we mentioned when starting this conversation, and with also a second very simple question around how can technology and data help make healthcare even more accessible?
Thank you. And I really love the fact that we've been shifting from, the key for user experience to the efficiency of platforms and systems to access and accessibility. So I would say that over the last 18 months of health emergency, really digital tools and digital healthcare platforms have been one of the essential backbone for access to care and access to novel care delivery modalities. And so from emergency response in Denmark, triaging patient with chatbots that were answering over 600 questions per second, to a data platform for distribution of protective equipment in France, to enabling 1.2 million healthcare professionals in the NHS with Teams, which is what we're doing and using today as well. Digital has really powered the access for first responders with novel modalities. Now, having experienced that convenience and the safety and the ease of use, I think that what we have learned is that patients don't want to lose the opportunity of the digital option. I'm not saying that they want the digital option to replace, but they want to have that point of choice. And so digital healthcare platforms, let me say, as the one that Microsoft and AXA have brought to the forefront, are, I think, one of the future ways in which we can enhance access and accessibility. And then the other point, in order to promote access and convenience, is to make sure that there is the right access to data, because data save lives. And the COVID emergency has shown that there is a vital importance really in data sharing, in data collaboration for acceleration of research, and it is across healthcare organization, across the journey of the patient, but also across borders. So in this particularly, I think in Europe we have the North Star of the common health data space. A lot of progress is being made, but we need more. We need a culture in which access to data is done with the right balance between innovation and privacy. But really, we want those longitudinal records of patients so that we can go beyond the fragmentation of health information across border and have a truly seamless experience. And that is my hope for the future in terms of access and accessibility.
Thank you, Elena. And what I perceive through your response leads to one question that I see on the chat, because of course to make that work, you need ecosystems and you need partnership. And I see a great question on partnership that I'd like to share and to send to Jeff. because we see a lot of global health partnership around there being built. But, taking the helicopter view, why are they so useful?
Well, it's a very good question, Karima. I think the health sphere is so vast and so complex that no company can go at it alone. And so you need to team up, basically. And so what we are doing currently with Microsoft and Medictor is a nice example of that. I'll just elaborate a little bit on that. So Microsoft, well, it needs no introduction, I would say. It's a very well global company, very strong at handling data, at having a good, very strong architecture, secure, trustworthy. So that's one thing. We at AXA, we are able to provide physical services, which we've been doing for a long time with travel assistants, etc. We are specialists in the customer journey design, and we have lots of clients throughout Europe. And that we combine with a company such as Medictor, which has developed a very nice artificial intelligence-based symptom checker, which we can leverage by joining forces throughout Europe and offer to all our clients in Europe. And so none of us alone would be able to offer that type of solutions, that type of services to so many people. So it's only by combining forces that we're able to achieve this. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. And I think we are all convinced about that. I see Elena being very, very much behind you also on this answer. Christian, I was mentioning AI earlier on, and I see here a question on the chat, which is asked by Olivier. And so the question is, and I'd like to ask it to you, the question is, what is AI's roles in your future journeys? And I would say, how can, because some of us may be afraid that it means a little bit losing the, I would say, the human touch, which is so important in terms of healthcare. So how can AI solutions interact with in-person care solutions so that we don't lose this, I would say, human touch? Christian, you're on mute. That's we were missing this one.
Sorry. So I think that AI in healthcare will play a major role, disrupting in many aspects. But in the field that we are working, I think that in a near future, we will find normal to go through an AI triage system before interacting to anyone in the healthcare industry. And as I said before, we are not doing something to substitute doctors. We are driving patients to the right level of care. And that's something that now it's an unsolved problem that we are solving. So what we want to do is to provide a new way to evolve healthcare to be more omni-channel, to access healthcare through a digital path easier than the physical path, because this allows to access the technology anytime, anywhere. When first symptoms arise, patients are anxious to know what to do, to have a path for solving their problem. So we can provide this right away and then guide them to the in-person visit that sometimes is needed, sometimes maybe not. So it's a gatekeeper for healthcare.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Christian. I see many questions on the chat, but indeed, I think we need to bring this conversation to a close. I'd like to finish with one question, which is looking ahead, looking at the future. What will be the next breakthrough for users' healthcare demands and experience? Maybe one question with a short answer for the three of you. I will start with you, Elena.
Thank you. It is an open and an integrated platform that has the intelligence to understand the data and the experience that patients need, but is also open to many solutions and the innovation from across the ecosystem, almost as a hub that lets all flowers bloom based on standards.
Christian?
Well, I think that, and Jeff mentioned it, and Elena also, I think that more accessible healthcare, it's the next barrier to really make it we will not call it telemedicine, just call it medicine. I mean, in the future, there will be no difference.
Jeff?
Yes, so for me it would be very easily accessible but trustworthy healthcare, access to your data, secure, and an easy, accessible access to the start of a health journey, as Christian has mentioned, which can start via an AI platform, but which in the end gets you to the right treatment, the right doctor or the right medicine in a very efficient manner.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you really warmly to the three of you for the great insights and conversations. I think we could go on, and I feel that all the people who are listening to us feel the passion around this topic. I loved what you said, Christian, around let's call it medicine and not telehealth, and I think the future is very much around this piece. And I'm very happy that along the power of partnership, as the three of you mentioned, that we see and we can build at AXA and with our ecosystems of partners, the future of healthcare. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. Don't forget that you can access to the replay of our series of innovation talks on YouTube. And please stay tuned. We'll continue those conversations, I would say, in September. Make sure you can follow the next episodes of the AXA Live Innovation Talks. Please take care, everyone, and have a great break for those of you taking a break. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.